Welcome. All right, so this is my first live stream with teaching a class. So we're here for meditation today, energy meditation through the eyes and practices of primarily Qigong, but also other influences. And a good deal of that is from my own practice and experience. So excited to share that with you, and hope you're going to enjoy your journey. So this is one of my favorite setups is an ottoman. A lot of times I'd have it against the wall if I feel like having back support. Sometimes a box of tissue is helpful. You never know if you're going to sneeze or cough or cry. It could happen. I have a little beanie. I like to cover my eyes, though sometimes my meditation, my eyes will be open or my eyes will be squinted, or I'll just have no cover for my eyes and have my eyes closed. And then also, if I was up against the wall, sometimes little back support's helpful. Don't often use that, but a little pillow. And you can explore everything we do through various seated postures. You could be on the ground. Much of what we'll do is possible standing, or almost all of it really. And some things we'll do standing upright, some things seated, but you're always welcome to take it the way that's right for you. So if you prefer to be seated the entire time, a good deal of these things that we're practicing could be done lying down as well. So just really, it's about making it feel good to you, what's right for you. And welcome. Once again, I'm Andy Barkworth, and I'm here with onpathhealingarts.com. That's my little online thing I like to share with you and start doing some live practices. So I'll share a little bit more about that later on. And so for today, our Wednesday practice will be for meditation. So oftentimes our preferred seated meditation is with our feet on the floor and our spine and back upright, and just kind of playing around with the body a little bit and just sinking in, wiggling around. And again, if I had my back up against the wall or as in a chair or a couch, I could make my back comfortable first. And just take a moment to be seated. You're welcome to stay standing, or if you're lying down, just let yourself sink into your body. And the way that we practice, we use movement like a bookend. So if my main practice is stillness, then I'll do some movements before and after to work out the kinks and to get my body ready to be comfortable in a still, relaxed position. And after I've been seated or still for a period of time, I'd want to move so that everything can get moving, circulating, and comfortable. Likewise, if my main practice is movement, like Tai Chi or forms of yoga and Qigong, then I would practice some stillness before and after if my main thing is movement based. So let's go ahead and maybe just got you all comfortable. That's just some practice for when we go to do it again. And you'll find over time you'll kind of settle right into your favorite seated or standing postures. Always free to make adjustments for what's right for you. So let's go ahead and warm up the body a little bit. And we're just going to shake out the branches of the tree. And if I had joint pain or limited mobility or anything going on, then I could just be really slow and light and deliberate and to whatever range my body can handle. And if my body likes it, then maybe I could be more vigorous with it. Maybe even bounce gently on the knees, gently in the belly. Might even use the sound of ah, the universal sound of relief. Just letting go of any tension, any stress. Breathe and let it go. Ah. Breathe. And let it go. Ah. And just let your body relax. And just let go for a moment. Just feeling tingling sensations throughout the body. And if you're standing, or you can still be seated, seated is just fine for most of these as well. Just take a moment to feel my feet connected to the earth. My body is connected through gravity. I feel the pull of my body towards the earth. And as the strength of my body and my posture, my spine, pushes up and away from the earth. I feel that rising as a resilience, an inner strength, an inner power. Breathe gently in the belly and adjusting breath. This is the breath we use to ready ourselves. This is the breath we use to recover and center ourselves in the midst of whatever's happening, and also the breath of recovery. And so, with or without the movement of the body and the arms, exhale, squeeze the breath out into the belly, and fill from the belly up to the chest. Hold it for a moment, squeeze it out from the chest down into the belly. Emptying the breath, hold it out, squeeze it out. Fill from the bottom up. Feel the fullness, feel it in the body, hold it, and squeeze it out. Like priming a pump. And if I can't breathe through my nose, I breathe like sipping through a straw. Slowing down the intake. And with an ah sound of relief, I'll let it go. Clasping the hands behind the back, and if you're seated and you can't reach behind you, then just place your hands on your belly or on your hips. And we're just going to begin moving the legs side to side. Can't really see my feet right now, but in many of my other videos, we do this dream walking. And I'm lifting one heel at a time off the ground. Again, I could be very slow and light and easy and deliberate. And if my body likes what I'm doing, I might pick up the pace. And it's almost like walking in place, but keeping the balls of the feet and toes connected to the ground. Lifting one heel at a time, just activating the body. Getting the blood to flow. Breath in the belly. Connecting ourselves with the breath in this body. And slow down. And one last time, gently shaking the branches of the tree. I might step in place to ground a little more. Might shake a leg. And that ought to do. Sometimes I do quite a bit of movement before my meditation in the morning, but that's a good place to start. I like to focus our time on this practice. Meditation is pretty synonymous with this idea of relaxation, and we might have lots of natural ways to relax. And we also might not be that familiar with how do I relax? How do I get my nervous system to settle? So how do I get out of stress mode into long-term thriving? We generally experience this as we're drifting off to sleep. And when we're waking up, if we're waking up slow, we're in some form of what we would call a meditative state or a change in brainwave patterns from hyper-analytical outward external thinking and awareness and alert to a gentle internal awareness in the alpha state, aware of what's inside and outside. And just make sure you're in a safe, calm, comfortable space. You can look on my website for ideas on how to create peaceful practice space for yourself. Notice that I have my palms facing up, but if I'm not feeling grounded or settled in my body yet, I can put my palms down, hands on my knees or my thighs or my hips somewhere. And that will also help us to ground and to feel settled into our body. And you might feel like you need to massage a little bit, and just taking our time, getting into the readiness, into the space of receptivity. And whether the word meditation resonates with you or you like the word relaxation, this is also the same kind of space we get into when we go into prayer. This is the state of creativity. This is a state of higher awareness, consciousness. And I just take a moment to tune in. Allow my breath to become diaphragmatic, low in the abdomen. As I breathe into and out of the belly, I let my belly expand on the inhale, contract on the exhale. And now that we're moving into stillness, it is not as big and expanded as the cleansing breath, which follows the same pattern. My deep cleansing breath, let's go and take another one together. I exhale to prime the pump. I let the belly really fill up and all the way up into the chest. Big breath. And then I empty from the chest down into the belly. Let it go. So that's the big breath. And that helps to regulate my nervous system, helps me to get centered, and helps me to move into what we would call a natural breath, breathing like a baby at rest when all needs are met. See the belly gently rise and expand on the inhale, gently compress and sink into the body on the exhale. And so we'll follow the same pattern. We could use our hands to identify in our body that the breath fills from the belly to the middle section up into the chest and empties from the chest to the intercostal middle section and down into the belly as if the lungs are in the belly. And I let that breath be slow and easy, gentle and natural as I move up and down my body with my breath. Sometimes we meditate for a purpose. We want to contemplate, or we want to move into a state of intuition. We want to receive some answer to a question that we have. We wish to explore something that's come up in our life, and we want to understand it, not out of the stress and worry and panic state. We want to move into ourselves and get in touch with what's really going on. Why am I feeling the way I am? Why am I responding and reacting to my life or the other or myself the way that I am? Sometimes our meditative practice is what we might call spiritual, or we might relate to that as connecting with our highest self or our fullest self. We might just wish for respite, for sanctuary from life's chaos, that we wish to allow our bodies the chance to heal, to recover. And I bring and begin to grow my awareness around my breathing. I let that breath rise and fall from my belly. Slow, smooth, gentle, in and out. As the breath moves up and down the body, as if filling from the belly up into the lungs, almost as if going up into the head. Breathing from the chest or the head down into the belly, as if that breath could exit through the legs and the feet to the earth. There are many methods to meditation, to relaxation. There are many Western approaches, Eastern approaches. Yet in my experience, they're all about the same or similar, and they rely on the same tools: the breath, the mind, the body. Using various forms, can be engaging and active, movement-based even. And some are very still, static, and all in between. So as we begin our classes and our practices, and I'll share them sometimes live on Zoom or record things to share and post to my YouTube channel. We'll explore various methods. We could use sound, we could use visuals, we can use the body itself, the breath, the mind. And as we begin to explore various practices, you'll Begin to find the ones that you like and the ones that you find tormenting, things that aren't maybe a great fit for you at this time. They may grow for you later on. 30 years ago, seated meditation was not Andy's favorite. And anytime one of my teachers would have us move into a stillness pose, it was not very comfortable for me. But in the last decade or more, I found that it is one of my favorite practices. Just took me a while to work out the kinks, to let go of the judging mind, let go of having to know and to figure things out, allowing myself to be and to feel. So let's just start with a little affirmation, a little centering that in our practice from my teacher that we like to use is establishing this opening, establishing this connection with myself as I exist in this moment. Not the Andy that came before, not the Andy that's to follow. Where am I right now? As I find myself, I locate myself here. Continue breathing into the belly. You might play around with different positions of your arms. Sometimes I'll bring my feet up cross-legged. You might have your back against a chair or a wall. You might be standing or laying down. Whatever feels right to you, and free to move and adjust at any time. I am here. I am here, and they are here with me. I am not alone. I am here in this place, and for now it is safe. I am here in this body, as I am now. I am here in this heart. I allow myself to open to love and compassion, understanding and wisdom. I am here with this mind, in this awareness. I recognize that I am that which is aware of the thoughts in my brain. And as my brain randomly and by association generates thoughts, I just let them flow and float on by. And the ones that might be deemed harmful or negative, I can let those float down the river. And if I come across something that's interesting or helpful, then I might just go ahead and let my awareness just pick up on that for a moment. Meditation doesn't mean that my mind becomes clear and empty, though that can happen. A good place to start is just to allow whatever thoughts that are happening to happen. And just like clouds floating across the sky, forming shape and dissipating and forming again, just as water flows down the river, I allow my thoughts to form and to move and to flow, and I just allow myself to be aware of them. And as I'm here in this body, in this heart, with this mind, in this awareness, I am here in this moment, this present experience, just as I am, just as I have chosen to be here, to participate in this moment, and free to come and go, to do or don't, at will. So long as I am safe and I continue to choose to be in this moment and participate, then I do allow myself to be here as I am now, fully accepting of what has come before. Let go of the fear, the worry of what is to follow, the anticipation of what's next. I allow myself to land in this body, in this moment. I am here, and it could be no other way. And as I bring myself into this body, into this heart, this mind, this moment, I am here with these intentions, that I honor my choice to do something good for myself. I have exercised patience and kindness in the process, and that if uncomfortable things arise, I'll allow myself to be with those, to breathe with those, to allow them to flow down the river. And if it's important, I could choose to meditate or to be with that at some time, that it does not take me away from what I am choosing to do in this moment. And in this process and journey, every day and every way, we are growing healthier, stronger, better, and wiser. Once again, adjusting the breath. Notice I had my eyes closed. I felt good about doing that. You could have had your eyes open. And we're just going to breathe out and down, squeeze the belly, and gather the breath from the earth up. Filling from the belly up, and exhale from the sky down, from the chest down. Evacuating, expelling, releasing, letting go, emptying out, and now filling up again. Maybe you can take a big deep breath, and maybe it's not so big. That's okay. We're working with whatever we have, wherever we are at this time. Squeeze it out. If I can't breathe through my nose, breathe like sipping through a straw. Slowing down my breath relaxes my body, calms my mind, soothes my emotions, and allows me to settle into now. As I continue to explore different postures, I like to put my beanie on if I'm going to be sitting, or if I'm standing. Sometimes I'll stand in the dark with my eyes closed, and sometimes I open the window and let the light shine through my eyelids, or I'll gently squint, or even have my eyes open. I do like to seat cross-legged or in half lotus, sometimes in lotus. I'm very comfortable with that. If that's not for you, don't worry about it, and even just notice that as I've taken a new position in my body, I'm just feeling around in there, and maybe there's a little stretch to be had. Maybe something got tight, and I'm going to open it up. And there's many schools of thought and methods. And from my perspective, we learn various techniques and systems and methods not to be subjugated to them, but to acquire them, to internalize them, and then allow them to express or become something that serves us, that is helpful to us. And that's moment to moment life. That's even out in the world when things are happening. I don't need to be overt and be crazy, doing all this crazy stuff. I could just really just quietly remind myself to breathe into my belly. I might even make a more gentle cleansing breath if I need to let go of some frustration, anxiety, or confusion. So the more I can bring myself into the center, into this body, into the moment, the more empowered I become, and the more I can be responsive and move in harmony with my life, even if it's the highs and the lows, even if something's going on. So I'm always free to make those adjustments, always free to move my body. And some might say, once you enter a pose, if that's your intention, that nothing should break you from that pose, and there's a benefit to that method. But also just recognizing that if holding my arms up or out, or I need to stand up for a moment, or I just need to let it go and shake it off, that's okay. And that as I continue to practice, I will become more comfortable and things will work for me, and I'll know my best spot or my favorite spots. And that might be different from moment to moment, day to day. So that's part of the journey, is to play around, try different things, and then always free to make it our own and to use it for us. So that's what I will encourage, is that whatever I say or do, use your own frame of reference, use your own way of relating to that, and make it helpful to you, because that's the ultimate purpose. So we have two roads to travel. We have training and practice, and then we have the practice and the application in real life or in our own experience. So while you're being guided, following, training, learning, there's a way that we will acquire that information, that technique, that ability, those sensations that I might mention, and then you might not feel them at first, and then all of a sudden maybe you do. But it's allowing patience and kindness in the process, so that I'm not seeking the meditation or the end result or the the tendency of experience. So we can't really exactly predict, though there are some methods where you can be very clear about how you're going to predict the outcome. But really, just like life happens, meditation happens. I can choose to practice meditation, but I can't decide when that's going to set in and how deep I'll go. That'll be relative to where I'm at, how I'm feeling, what's going on. And the more I practice, the more my body will know, my energy, my mind will know, hey, this is where we're up to. And so after many years, or sometimes folks just are naturally inclined to this state, they can pick up and tune into that state and get there. But we're not forcing it, we're allowing it. So we participate in the practice, we acquire what practices are best for us, and we're free to add and subtract and do something here and not do something there. We're free to follow the method as prescribed, however we go about it, and then we allow the experience to occur. And usually, often, until you're uh, in tune with what that's like, some of the deeper states of meditation, where you do get to what we would call no mind, there's still brain activity, you actually still have thoughts, you can't shut that off. But you move into like a delta state or maybe even a theta state, where your thoughts are so slow and spacious, is as if you're not in a body, it's as if you're not thinking, though you still have a body and you still have a brain that's at work. But you just get in such a slow cycle of thought per second, such a internally focused and healing state, and what some would term an expansive or spacious state, that is not till you come out of it and you become aware again in your mind and your thinking, that you're like, oh wow, where did I go? What just happened? So it might come out like that. So there's all kinds of things to cover, and I feel like that's been a lot of information already. So I hope you review this at some point in time. It is my intention to come out with shorter um, how-to basic step-by-step videos. So I already have quite a bit of that, but not so much on meditation so far. So I do have some systems that I would like to share and unfold little by little. Today I'm just kind of playing and we're just kind of getting into it. So I hope you're finding something that works and relates to you. I would say that, especially with certain techniques of meditation, sometimes it can be too much if our system isn't calibrated and ready for it. So there are times where I might feel alarmed, or my nervous system might respond, oh, something's going on. And so if that happens, it might not, and it's nothing to be afraid of, because you can handle it, your body can handle it, nothing bad will happen, so to speak. Um, but if I become alarmed by a new experience, or I feel unsettled, or I could just breathe, open my eyes, start moving. And one of the quickest ways to get there is to put your hands on your body, especially your legs somewhere, your hips. so I can ground myself. So if I'm, doing a breathing technique, or I'm starting to feel expanded, or even maybe my head gets a little woo woo woo, something's going on, and I'm not sure where this is going, and I don't know if I want to go there. Hands on the knees, hands on the thighs, just drop it, let it go. From my experience, you can't break it. So we just want to be sure that we're moving in a pace in a way that's right for us, free to participate or not, do or don't, and to take pieces as we see fit. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and put on my beanie as I have the lights on, and now I can meditate in the light just fine. I do like having my eyes closed. So we're going to move into a little stillness practice for a few minutes, and then after the end, we'll stand up, move a little bit, and I'll share a little bit of standing meditation. And even that can always be done from a seated position or even in your bed. Thing I like about an ottoman, just as a note, is that some people might want to be, or just happen to be in a chair that has arms. It might be more restrictive. So for that, I might have to get to the edge of my seat if I want to move my legs a little bit, if I want to be able to stretch and move some. But with an ottoman, especially an ottoman with your back against the wall, you can get back support, but it also can do different things. So if you do decide to stay seated, even when we start moving at some point in time, you'll be able to do some things and have some freedom. That also might work well on the edge of your bed or on a couch as well. So I'm very comfortable without having a back. And since I let go of my cross-leg position, I'm going to go ahead and do one of our favorite positions, which is having our feet grounding us. This is one aspect of what really we hope over time we would develop a diverse menu of options for self-care. So seated stillness is important, being able to take a pause, tune in, check in with ourselves throughout our day. A lot of times we organize our life and our schedules, but it's also important to take time to organize ourselves and feel what's going on and be with what's happening as it's happening, so that we don't get to the end of the day or the end of the week or the end of the year and have a meltdown or burn out or all those things. And I've done all those. And so this is among the practices like Tai Chi and yoga, Qigong, meditation. And there's, nature walks, hikes, going for a walk. There's all kinds of things that we can do to take care of ourselves. So this is just among your menu. So my feet are on the ground. I'm in an ottoman that's a good height for me. I also have a little cushion because I like a little extra cushion. And now let's go ahead and get into it. You might have even stood up and moved a little bit. And I'm just going to bring this comfortably over my eyes. I feel safe in the space I'm in. And now I've starting to move away from my brain that wants to acquire information through my senses, that wants to be alert and paying attention to what's happening around me. And certainly if I'm driving or if I'm in a situation where I'm not sure I'm safe, then maybe I squint my eyes or leave my eyes open. Maybe it's just a moment that you have in between meetings at the office and you go tune in a little bit to collect yourself. This is something I do prior to classes and prior to activities, is I'll bring myself into my body, into this moment. Sometimes I have my hands on my belly or somewhere on my body. Sometimes my hands are palms up in my lap. Sometimes they're on my legs. All kinds of different postures. So just play around for a moment. Make yourself comfortable. I don't have a sense of an elongated spine or a straight back, but spine also has a natural curve, so I want to allow my body to form itself into its most relaxed but supported posture. as I bring my breath into my belly and I just begin to pay attention to my breath in and out through the belly. If I can breathe in and out through my nose, I'll breathe in and out through my nose. Anytime I need to clear my throat or cough or swallow or sneeze, or anytime I need to make an adjustment in my body or what I'm doing, I'm free to do so. I'm free to come in and out of the practice. I'm free to take the practice just as far as it's right for me. I don't need to push myself. That whatever is waiting for me is there for me. So I just tune into this body, to this breath, into this moment. Begin to draw my awareness of the sensations of the outer world into sensations of my inner world, into the beating of my heart, sensation of my breath expanding and contracting in my body, sensations of my feet on the earth, or just of my feet, sensations and awareness of my legs, my hips, sensations and awareness of my spine, my back, and my shoulders, sensation and awareness of my arms, my palms, my fingers, sensation and awareness of my neck and my head and my face. One of the simplest ways to tune inward and to allow ourselves to become calm, focused, aware is to shift our attention, to bring our awareness to the breath, to deepen our awareness of the breath by bringing the breath in and out of the belly. And maybe your body doesn't breathe as deep just yet. Maybe there's some restrictions. So wherever my breath is at, if I can bring my mind, my awareness, to the breath in my body, and feel the sensations of the movement of my breath in my body. As my breath fills from the belly up to the chest, releases from the chest down into the belly. Breathing in and out through the nose, or breathing almost like whistling or sipping through a straw if I need to breathe through my mouth. Allows me to slow down the breath, to take more oxygen into my system. Allows my heart to move the blood to my body, my tissues, my organs, my extremities, up into my head. Just breathing in and out. And there'll be times I'll offer additional awarenesses or additional positions of the tongue or the eyes or the body. And you're free to try them. Or if you get a feeling like that's not for me right now, or I already have enough, I don't need more, then I give myself permission to listen to my body, to listen to my inner awareness that is guiding me to what is the right level for me today. What is not too much and maybe not too little. I want to be in a comfortable zone where I'm growing, but not trial by fire. And just let my body wiggle and move gently and sway. Sometimes I might do a body wave or spinal wave as I move my body, and maybe in the position I'm in, maybe I build up some tension in my shoulders or my back or somewhere in my body, and maybe I clench my body for a moment, tighten my muscles to activate my body, and then I let it relax again. And over time, I'll be able to hold postures and positions while staying relaxed. But that is a training, that is a practice. It takes time. You might find that you are naturally there already. And you may find that you may have a long journey. But it's not really about getting to an end or a completion or a goal. It's about learning how to be present in the moment, to be in the body, and to be in a state of awareness and intuition that exceeds available knowledge, that exceeds the knowledge of my life experience or my studies, might exceed the knowledge of what my senses pick up from the environment. I really just need to know where I am now, and as each breath arises and recedes, I allow myself to move into the new moment and to be available and receptive to what is the right next move. Maybe it's incubation, maybe it's yielding, waiting. I allow myself to be at peace if that is what is best. Maybe I'm in a state of growth and expansion. There's new stuff on the horizon. Though I can find joy and delight in the anticipation of the fulfillment, I allow myself to be calm and peaceful. Allow myself to be ready for what may be coming. And if I'm in a state of breakdown, unraveling, things that were working are no longer working. If I'm in a state of healing and recovery, then I allow myself to be there. The more present I am in my breath and my body and my awareness of my emotions, the more I am able to become aware of the thoughts in my mind and begin to direct and redirect my thoughts. The more I begin to participate in shaping my reality and my perception, the more I'm able to extend my perspective to the bigger picture. This is where I can tune in to my present experience and be okay, even if it's not okay right now. The journey is okay. Breathe in and out through the belly. I'll make my breath loud so you can hear it. Squeezing from the chest down into the belly, expanding from the belly up into the chest as we inhale. Squeezing out to empty. And if I can't breathe through my nose, I breathe like sucking and sipping through a straw. Filling from the belly up, emptying from the chest down. Slowing down the breath. Slows down my mind. Soothes my nervous system. I might hold it for a moment, squeeze my body and let it be breath in the body and then let it go. I can be intermittent with my practice. I could be in great states of stillness, and something might come up in my body. I might feel pain or tension or stiffness. I might feel discomforting, uncomfortable emotions or thoughts, memories. And I am in the place where I can be with those, but I might even engage my body or my breath to help me along. Maybe I feel frustrated or something's going on, and even coming and being in a state of peace, or maybe we're not even getting there at all. Maybe we're struggling at the moment and in our heads or emotions or in the pain of our body. I'm free at any time to use my body and my breath to help it along. And so I'm going to go ahead and take some deep breaths. I'm even going to squeeze my body a little bit. And if you're comfortable and happy just where you are, then just continue. Breathing in and out of the belly, and letting the body sway and move as it likes to. You might stand, be seated, or lying down. And let's go ahead and adjust the breath one more time. Exhale. Lift the breath and the hands up. Squeeze, make a fist, squeeze the body for a moment, and then let it go. Maybe that's letting go of frustration or anger or sadness. Breathe and gather something new. I hold it, I squeeze it, squeeze my toes, my body, my face, and let it go. Maybe that's enough for me, and maybe I can do one more. And just take a moment to relax the body and relax the breath and just feel. Just feel into where I'm at now. Tuning inward, looking inside. How did that feel? How did my body respond? What happened to the thoughts that I was chewing on? The worry I couldn't let go of, the list that kept repeating itself. Did that ease up? Did the pain and the tension resolve a little bit, even just a little bit? Maybe that was helpful but not enough, and maybe I need to repeat that. Or maybe I'm feeling calm and still and relaxed, and I'm good to go to continue on. So right now we're just probing just very light states of relaxation and meditation. You might have gone to a deep state, and you might not have. It really doesn't matter. Whatever happened is just what needed to happen for you at this time. For you to do or not do, for you to take it or leave it, for you to change and adjust as needed. And so now, just go ahead and remove my beanie and open up, and maybe slowly open your eyes. I forgot to have a lot of lights on in this room, so it's pretty bright. And I'm going to go ahead and stand up for a moment and just feel my body. Maybe you're not ready to stand up, you stay seated. It's going to move a little bit. Yeah, a lot of talking today, a lot of information to share. So a lot of times we'll just kind of get into it and might share a little bit about what we're up to that day. But not go into all the background information so much. It'll be more guided as we go, letting you know what you can do or not do in that moment. And shake it out if that feels good, or maybe instead you brush and rub your body a little bit. So just as a reminder, in our practice method, we would bookend whatever main thing we're doing that moment, that time. So if I'm going to be in extended stillness, then I'm going to move before and after. And if I'm doing extended movement, then I'll have some stillness before and after. And if you've ever gone to a yoga class or qigong or tai chi or other things like that, you may find that that is happening whether it's being made known or not. Um, that's a lot of times what's happening is because we do need time to process and to integrate. So my journey is 30 plus years long, and really, if you just take it back even a little further, it started further back than that. And you could even say it started at birth. So, my practice with these techniques have grown over the years, and so some things that are very easy and comfortable for me may not yet be so for you, and it wasn't always the case for me. So let's go ahead and one more time shake it out or step in place. And if you're still seated, you just rub your legs or rub your body or gently tap and pat and just kind of feel my body again. And if I had a little bit of pain build up somewhere, tension or stiffness, I could try to work it out. And let's go ahead and make some more adjustment breaths. Doesn't always have to be so big or so loud. Gather. Could be gentle and quiet, especially if you've already had enough. Let it go. Gather the breath, filling up. Filling from the belly up into the chest. Squeezing from the chest down into the body. Breath can be energizing, and a breath can be relaxing. Let the breath coming in energize you. And now quiet, soft, and gentle. Let the breath relax you. Let everything soften. And just taking a moment to tune in. Talk a lot more about specific methods and techniques, from stillness to standing to movement based, various breathing techniques. And these are just some of the practices that I use, I've acquired, and I share my teaching practice. It's not the only way, it's not the best way. We're also free to pursue those things that suit us best at this time. And one time, shake it out, shake a leg. And just like to invite you to visit my website, onpathhealingarts.com. There's some details and stuff below if you happen to be on YouTube Live right now. I do and will be holding weekly Zoom classes that I'm now starting to share some of those live on YouTube and maybe some Facebook soon. And those are Tuesday Tai Chi and Qigong, which is more gentle movement, body movement, which also has an element of meditation or energy as well. And then Wednesdays will be focused on meditative practices or relaxation, stress management, stress relief, and release. And then Thursdays will be more fitness. We'll pull into the Kung Fu bag, and we'll be using some of my Kung Fu studies of the last 30 years. Won't be teaching Kung Fu for the purpose of self-defense, and though the ultimate and traditional purpose of martial arts is to achieve peace within so that we don't need to take it out in the world, and that we would do no harm. So even when we're actually doing Kung Fu and even fighting, the sense is of life, of preservation and respect, and to do no harm whenever that's possible. So we'll just be using different body movements from Kung Fu to keep the body fit. So you're welcome to come into those classes and register on Zoom through my website, or look for more videos on YouTube Live or my channel. I've got quite a bit of material there, and it just keeps growing. So I hope you find something useful for you. And if you happen to be in Phoenix and want to get in touch and drop by for a class sometime, I would love to hear from you as well. So until the next time we meet, namaste, she, thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming out to play. And I hope you enjoyed your journey, and more to come.